fancy intro music. Yeah! Woo!
Hey everybody, welcome back to another breaking news segment for all things gaming, and this time we got to talk a little bit about EVE Echoes. I'm of course your host, Deuce, and real quick we give a shout out to our sponsors, the Outer Rim Pirates. The Orp Alliance is a nullsec and lowsec pirating group gallivanting around the galaxy hosting festivals of conviviality, and if you want to join, well, maybe you should talk to Revs Reavers or any of our affiliated corps led by a very, very attractive man. Not saying who it is, but he is quite attractive. So let's talk about this news that we got where the devs come into the player base saying, hey, what do you want us to do about the situation where you simply are struggling to autopilot safely throughout the galaxy? Now, according to this paperwork, there are many EVE Online vets saying things like, don't undock anything that you aren't willing to lose. Just stupid stuff, because they forget that this is a mobile game, and mobile games are designed by nature for you to be able to do other things at the same time, or just to be able to set your phone down. For all of us that are playing at work and aren't deciding to sit down at a computer 24/7 to play, well, that's how it goes. You need to be able to, fly through space without dying. Now, let me say real clear, because here are the options they presented to us, and I'm not saying that all these three options are perfect. I really don't think that they are, but I think that they're a good starting point. As you can see me doing a storyline mission right here to your right. So be entertained as we discuss this very important topic. I look at these three options and see validity into each, kind of wondering why number 3 was brought up at all, enhancing security in the nullsec, and then also gate guns for nullsec for sovereignty, which sovereignty doesn't come out until December, I think. So that's still months away. We're not sure why that part got added in at all, but I will say that for a regular player coming in, whether you're a new player, EVE Online veteran, or just a filthy casual, your ability to fly through high sec is already guaranteed, but it's the low sec where a lot of pirates have taken up shop, and a lot of these have started camping the gate or ITCs or even just regular space stations in order to get easy kills. Now, I'm not saying I have a problem with pirating. In fact, that's what I do. You've watched my streams on Twitch, and you know that I will gladly go into asteroid fields, anomalies, wherever I can find some content and enjoy some good PvP. I do, however, find issue with things like camping ITCs because, not gonna lie, the nerd in me wants a little bit of realism, and no true intergalactic trade center would allow a fleet of 10 pirates to sit out the front door, camp the gate guns with either Logi's healing or a random frigate floating off 150 kilometers away, and let it just kill its customers. That would simply would never happen. I could understand if we were trying to use, maybe, I don't know, a station that was owned by a player, which that kind of brings up another point. Maybe there are too many stations in some low-sec systems. There needs to be more player-based stations to where you could actually have some of that content for us. But as it sits right now, simply being able to camp those, one, for all the, whether you're an EVE Online vet, an alpha, beta vet, or you just that type of pirate, there's no skill involved in that. And simply camping people coming in and warping in, I love PvP that actually, if I win or lose, and y'all have all watched me lose plenty, as long as it's an active PvP, if you're better than me, you're better than me. But if you're camping a gate, then you're just simply trying to get easy kills and easy loot. And obviously as a pirate, you want the easiest kill that you can get. I'm not saying that you don't, but I also think that there needs to be a level of fairness because it is a mobile game. Now, if this was a PC-based game, I would fall more along the lines of number 1. But I'm gonna be honest, I'm telling you, vote number 2. Hashtag vote if you haven't registered to vote. Well, the good thing is you don't have to, because this actually just uses an email address, which, real quick point, and another streamer I was talking to, Rain, brought this up and I agree with her entirely. The fact that you can do this and vote for this, and if everybody, I know you're wondering 4 minutes into this, where can I even go to vote? Link down in the description and down in the chat below. It's silly that there's not a way to pair this in game. Like, if you're going to host this type of inquiry, like get the opinion of players, why wouldn't you do it in game with some form of in-game mail and in-game poll? I mean, surely we can code a poll in the game, right? You can do all this, like we can shoot everything, but we gotta have a poll. Come on! I mean, is this such an outlandish idea? I don't know why I got hyper about that little thing, but Truthfully, it does seem like that's a basic concept and something that should be pretty easy to implement. And I'm not going to say and lie to you guys and gals that I am the know-all end-all of coding, but I will say that there are some things that are pretty basic. So if you truly want to gauge how the player base feels, then simply go where most of the player base is instead of on Reddit and on Discord. Now, I have no problem with the mediums of Reddit and Discord, but if you're going to put out something as important as this, don't rely on channels that are not frequented by all the player base. The game is. This is not. But let's talk about point 1 through 3 in their entirety. Point 1 reads, retain the current setup. Players should expect risk when venturing into low-sec and null-sec systems. I understand the argument for number 1, and if it simply said null-sec, I would 100% agree. But low-sec is still part of faction space. If you hit your star map, and you can look at the right side of your screen, you will remember that many of the systems that we are talking about, low-sec systems, Molden Heath, Derelict, Devoid, the Bleak Lands, these are all faction areas. So you would think that there would be decent security in faction areas. Keep in mind that nullsec is all these pretty red things out in the ring. All of this is nullsec. There's more nullsec than there is regular space. I'm not wanting to touch nullsec. Nullsec should be the wild, wild west, east, north, south, everything. It should be crazy. It should be dangerous. And there should be no type of blue patrols out there unless they're your alliance and your mates going out there and having a good time. But low-sec is part of faction space. The only danger should be running anomalies, mining, maybe even sitting at the sun. But you should be able to warp through the gate pretty easily because it's, a faction space. There's guns there for a reason. Now, there have been ways to get around the dangers of the guns, and I think that's what's brought up, and that is what's brought up a lot of the discussion in this video and in all the videos that the other content creators have put out. And I'm not disparaging their opinions. They're, of course, entitled to their opinions, the ones who've disagreed with me. Some people want you to vote number 1. I simply think number 2 is the best option presented, even if I don't think these options are, in their entirety, perfect. Enhance the firepower of gate guns. Most battleships can withstand up to 5 attacks and offer anti-warp capability to the stargates. These changes will enable campers to take victim selection into consideration before attacking. Only targets that yield very profitable returns are worth killing, which would also bring in another point. Then for them to know what's profitable, scanning would need to be a real thing, like to scan, see cargo holds, see weapons on ships, things like that. Essentially, this would be, we're only going to take down like a fully fitted CNI or maybe a Hurricane if we have the time. It would make selection more of a focus instead of just randomly hitting anything that comes to a gate. I know some of you are used to gate camping and that's part of your culture. Well, welcome to a brand new world. EVE Online is not EVE Echoes. 2 completely different areas, 2 completely different games. Yes, based on the same lore and some incredibly beautiful ships, as I'm currently long-range kiting this mission with my sexy Hurricane. I'm actually getting bored doing this. We're going to turn and approach this rupture. Middle of the news segment, completely unscripted. But I see number 2 as the most viable one that's currently offered. Make it a little bit more dangerous. Basically protect the gates and protect ITCs. I'm okay with regular stations that I have in high security, but ITCs should be able to wipe out anything because they're an ITC. An intergalactic trading post run by rich merchants would not allow their stuff to get pirated because then nobody would go to them. So just a little bit of realism in that. But regular stations, maybe. I mean, there are stations that, are defend. That's cool. I have no problem with that. But low-sec should be an area that is safe to at least travel through. And I think that the normal players out there, the average player out there that's running into these issues is having that complaint. I mean, I've been gate camped and I really don't care because I do enough in the game to make up for that. But you know what? I'm also a content creator for EVE Echo, so I spend hours and hours in this game to have the funds to do that. The player who may only play 30 minutes to 2 hours a day, if that, may not have that. It may take them a week to get back what they just lost, and they were expected to do a regular anomaly in low-sec. And if they were going to die in low-sec, it needs to happen at the anomaly, not at the gate before they can even defend themselves or try to warp away. That is the main issue. And then finally, number 3, enhance security and proximity to the Stargate, which I actually won't, which is number 2, except these changes would enable the surrounding areas around Stargates to become safe zones. However, gate guns near null-sec systems require Sovereign's installation after Sovereignty becomes available later this year. So we talked about how number 3 is a little bit different. I'm not sure why the Sovereignty thing is getting brought up because it's not even in the game yet. But still, I think overall, my feeling would be to lean towards number 2. Make it safer in low sec, but not 100% safe, that we can still have piracy, but people can travel through if they want to travel through. Basically, I want to protect all the travelers. If you're out mining or you're out doing anoms, you're fair game. You're going to get a crime timer if you hit them, but you're fair game. But I would vote number 2. But I want to know your opinion, and if you disagree with me, that's completely okay. And let me know in the comment section below why you disagree. Feel free to shoot at me if you see me in low sec or null sec, and say hi after you do it. Hopefully I'll win, but if not, just know I love you. Live long and prosper. Stay safe out there, Space Cowboys, and remember, shoot first. This has been another breaking news segment of Gaming News. You're welcome.
Avec Olico e Deuce malo Tao aquesto padeari Yabosha Yabosha Yabostoba.
An even better outro than the intro. Yeah!
Woo!